Okay, guys. So, hi, I'm Shelby Sutton. If you are new to the team, welcome, welcome. Every Wednesday night, we have our weekly team training. And tonight, we have a very special guest, Ashley. I'm not even going to try to say your last name. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. But before we do, the way that I found Ashley is kind of funny. In the VIP page, she had actually commented on somebody's post, and I, for whatever reason, saw it and was like truly inspired by this short little snippet of her journey. I don't even know her full story, so I'm really excited about tonight for her to share. But what I saw, I was like, wow, that's so inspiring. So buckle up, get ready, get out your pen, your paper, your phone to take notes, whatever it is. And we're going to let Ashley introduce herself, share your story, girl, like as little or as much as you want. But I know just from the little bit that I know that it's going to be really good. And then if we have time, we can do a little bit of a Q&A. So if there's anything that you guys hear that you're like, what? And you just want to know more, go ahead and drop it in the chats and we'll just kind of dive in and pick Ashley's brain tonight.
Yes. Okay, guys. Sorry, my ring light's doing like weird things. So just in case you're wondering what I'm doing, but oh man, my name is Krzysiak. The last name is Krzysiak. Just Ashley K is good. I went from Richard to that. So I had to like teach myself how to say it. So don't worry. Ashley K is the name. Guys, I don't even know where to begin. Most of you probably don't realize who I am, because I'm just like the quiet little triple diamond chugging along over here. But I've been in business now for 6 years. I started September of 2014. And before I get into my story, how many of you guys were at conference? Magical, glorious, amazing conference. I was the More Love Award, the story of the distributor who passed away with the 6 babies and all of that, like completely blindsided, had no idea that that was happening from corporate. That was me. So that's kind of like the only way I say, hey, I don't know if anybody realizes who I am, because I never really opened my mouth, but I was the person sobbing on stage with an award that I didn't even need to receive, but it was just a huge blessing because of this business and the things that we can do and how we can be such amazing stewards with our money and with our time. So that was me, the ugly crier on stage. But I started in 2014, you guys. I call myself like the poster child for why this business would never work. I had just moved from Palm Beach up to Uniontown, Pennsylvania. I'm like an hour south of Pittsburgh, a town so small that I literally have to drive like 45 minutes for a reputable pediatrician for my kids. And I used to live in Palm Beach, Florida. So talk about culture shock. So I'm in a new place. I have no friends here, no family here. We moved because we were struggling really bad. I was a Target executive. I made a lot of money. I loved my career, but we had our son. He was sick. Long story short, I walked away from 6 figures. And I said, well, now I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. Surprise. Like that wasn't part of the plan. And just everything changed. My mind, everything changed when we had Cody. So we moved to my husband's hometown when he was 6 months old. At this point, we have 6 figures in medical and credit card and student loan debt. Credit cards are maxed. Everything's a hot mess. And I'm sitting here depressed and lonely and stressed and all the things. Literally started Googling for work at home jobs when he was like a year old. So how many of you guys maybe have done the same thing? And I'm like Googling and Googling, trying to figure out what to do. And it was all dead ends. So I just stopped looking. And I thought, well, when my husband makes me go back to work, I guess then I'll just go back to work. What am I going to do? So we had that conversation when Cody was 2. He said, okay, well, Cody's 2 years old now. So like, what are you doing? And I was like, I ain't going back to work. I didn't move to Pennsylvania. No offense to my fellow Pennsylvanians, but I was like, I didn't move here to go back to work and miss everything with him. That's not what I want to do. So by the grace of God, you guys, there was just a post on social media. And when I mean I was a poster child for a lot of the reasons, 99% of the reasons why everyone uses an excuse why they can't be successful. No support, no friends here, no network, 1,000 miles away from home. I had 200 friends on Facebook. I was never on social media, never posted, didn't even know what Instagram was. And this was 2014. So it's not like, it was that long ago. I didn't even know Instagram was a thing, let alone all the other platforms. So I saw this post, a girl I went to school with, haven't talked to her since we graduated. I'm 34 years old. Back then I was 28. And I just said, the heck with it, right? What's the worst that's going to happen? I'll just lose $100. And long story short, you guys, the girl who had no support, no this, no that, no experience, no social media, no how, literally no idea what the heck I was doing, went triple diamond in 8 months. Crazy, right? Crazy. Epic growth in the beginning. So I only say that part of my timeline for you guys to realize, like, yes, it's not a one size fits all journey, right? That's fantastic that I went triple diamond so quick. Oh my gosh, high five. But I just told you guys, hi, my name's Ashley Krzysiak. I'm a triple diamond. I've been with the company for 6 years. Did you catch that part of the story? So I had this epic growth in 8 months, and I literally turned around and I was like, what is happening? Like, I don't even know what's going on. Who are all these people on my team? Like, what am I supposed to do now? Didn't really have, you know, a lot of support any which way I looked. My mom didn't become a customer until my 8th month when I went triple diamond and showed her the paycheck, and she was like, oh, okay, I guess now it's a real thing. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, it's real, you know? So I say all of that, and I'll let Shelby kind of like, you know, chime in and like cut me off and tell me which way she wants me to go. But you can't compare. I'm a really true believer that comparison is the thief of joy. And I've been on a ton of Zooms. Like, first of all, you guys, I'm honored to be here. Some of your names I recognize from different things, and I'm almost wondering like if we're sideline sisters somehow, but Shelby and I will figure that out. But guys, like, I've been on these calls so many times because I have turned into like the queen of grit, like hustle, heart, grit. I don't waver. My emotional resiliency is like that of, I don't even know, a bull. I have no idea. And I just, like, nothing gets to me. I don't compare. I don't play the games. I don't look in circles. I don't think the grass is greener. I don't get sidetracked. Like, my journey is my journey and it's my story. And sure, that was incredible to get to VIP in 8 months. But the Ashley that I was in May of 2015 would have never been able to go presidential, ambassador, and beyond. The Ashley that stands right now with the growth, the personal development, the slowing down. I'm super red, so I had to like, you know, like slow way down and just love on people and really channel like the inner version of myself that I would want to duplicate. And that's where I'm at right now. So I just have done so many calls for so many teams just to really speak my heart for you guys. If you feel like you're stuck or you feel like you're in that path of least resistance, push harder is kind of my jam. But Shelby, I'll let you take over. Tell me which way you want me to go, because I could talk forever. I don't practice. I just talk from the heart. So.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing your story. I had like lots of ahas while you were talking. First of all, we have so much in common. Like, I didn't even know how much we have in common. I'm from West Palm also. I joined in 2015 also, or 2014 also. And there were some other things too that you said. Here's what we don't have in common. It took me 8 months to go diamond, not triple diamond. And I remember when I went diamond, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do with all these people on my team? And I had like, what was it? 14 girl, I think it was 14 or something to go diamond back then. So I can only imagine like going from 0 to triple in 8 months. Like, how did you, so I think that where I'm going with this is like, how did you even do it? You know, like, I think a big part of it was you had a huge why. Like, you already shared that part. You don't want to go back, but like, what the actual like mechanics, how did you do it? Like, were you just like sign in a ton of distributors, or were you like getting some leaders and like really training up leaders? Like, what happened in those 8 months?
Oh, that's like the $1 million question. I don't know. No. I honestly, here's the thing. What happens when you've been in business for a really long time, you guys, it's not complacency that takes over. It's just, you forget the newness. You forget like, what did I do back then? Or how did I do back then? Because there's been so much evolution, guys. Like, we didn't have, I mean, I at least didn't have like all these team pages and trainings and huddles and Zooms, and we had like Periscope. Do you remember Periscope? And like the occasional, I don't know, random leadership webinar jam, or whatever that horrible system was. Like, we didn't have all the stuff that you guys have now. So I'm such a big believer in your rooted reason. Okay. And it's funny that I think it was Rachel Jones said this on stage at one point, but I had been preaching this just inadvertently before. your kids, like you can't just say, okay, actually, before I talk, tell me your why. Don't overthink it. What is your why? Why are you in business? Like blow up the chat. Just light her up. I want to know. You don't have to tell me your life story if you don't want to, but just why are you here? Is it extra money for vacation? Is it retirement? Is it get out of debt? Like, what is it? Because it's always money, right? That's usually why we always start. It's very rare that it's flip-flopped where you're like, you've got all the money, but you don't have time and you want the time. Usually we don't get a lot of that. So look, guys, freedom with family, bring my husband home, money, my kids, time with the kids, provide a better life, freedom, single mom of 3, you go girlfriend, freedom, pay off mortgage, my babies, yada, yada, amazingness. We're all on the same page, okay? So here I am, I'm 34 now. We built our house. It went $250,000 over budget. I don't tell people that a lot because everybody screwed everything up. So now I have a house that's worth over $500,000 and it shouldn't be, and my house is paid off, and I'm 34. My student loans, only because I've lived my best life a lot, I only owe like $10,000. I literally, that's all I owe on $100,000 in student loans. All of our cars are paid off. College funds are set up. All of that freedom stuff that you guys are talking about, like imagine, you know, like when Mark says like you live in a house, you sleep better in a house that's paid for, and you're like, yeah, bro, easy for you to say, like you're the man, you know, that's impossible. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. And I've had a lot of curveballs and a lot of things thrown my way. So what I want you guys to first realize is you have to take the cap off of whatever glass ceiling that you're like hitting against because you don't think that it's possible. Also, guys, I've never been in the top 150. And my house is paid off because we were smart with money. And I've never been in the top 150 on the dream board. Made it real close, okay? So stop comparing the mechanics of like what I've done and how I've done. Honestly, you guys, it's just that rooted reason that you said, your kids are gonna love you whether you quit this business or not. Your kids are still your kids. Your husband is still your husband. I'm reading that you're, you know, unless you're a single mom, your mom is still your mom. Your grandmother who's ill is still your grandmother. They're still going to love you. So you got to go deeper than that. That's not enough. That's not enough. How is it going to make you feel if you had no mortgage? What will that do? How is it going to make you feel when you can literally do whatever the heck you want with your kids and go wherever? Not be stupid and bougie, but you know what I mean? Like for Christmas, and I'm not saying any of these things to boast you guys, because my dad died when I was 3. My mom worked 80 hours a week. I think the reason why my work ethic is the way it is because it's deeply rooted in me. I started working full time when I was 13. I had to go work at a Chinese restaurant, got paid under the table, helped my mom pay bills. I never learned how to cook. I never had a real childhood because my mom was never around. I literally kind of raised myself and nobody wanted that, but that's just what happened, okay? So I think that's just deeply instilled in me because I watched my mom do it. So it's not like I had this silver platter, but you got to dig deeper. You got to dig deeper and say, okay, what does freedom mean? What do you want? What is that going to look like? Because that's what's going to make you show up. And there were so many times I wanted to quit and so many times I wanted to walk away and so many losses in my business and things that had happened and people left and this and that and da-da-da. You have to be like the tallest standing flag in your little flag community. Like your pole has to be like freaking in the freaking hurricane and whatever else, whatever. You can't be doing this floppy crap, you know, you can't do that. And again, I'm red, so slow me down if you need me to, but you guys just have to get really deep and raw with why you're here. And why you're here will continue to evolve as you guys are growing in this business. But truthfully, I did not lay my head down on the pillow every single night. Back then, we didn't call it KPIs. We just call it get to freaking work, talk to people. Okay, now we've got fancy words and stuff for it. I did not go to sleep until I probably messaged 100 people. And I never cold messaged a day in this business either, personal choice. But I got really good with social media. I got really good with relationship building. I got really good with saying every person that likes a post, I'm going to initiate a conversation. Every single person that comments on something, I'm going to initiate a conversation. Every single day, I'm going to grow this darn network because you ain't getting nowhere with 200 Facebook friends and no Instagram. And every single day I just had pure intentions, and I had a daily 6 list. That is something that we've had from, the dawn of time, at least my time with the business. And you just do it. You don't overcomplicate it. You just get it done every single day, even when you don't want to, even when you're tired. Guys, I've been in a car accident with this business. My mom was in a domestic violence situation with my now ex-stepdad, still showed up for my business, miscarried, still showed up for my business. In the hospital getting a C-section with my second son, still showed up for my business, but then I cannot show up too when I want to, right? You work first, you play later. You can put your phone down. So you have to have that unwavering commitment. See, when things aren't happening in your business, it's so easy to like do this. And you're like looking all around like, oh, the sky, what's happening? It's not what's not happening around you. It's what's not happening within you. And that's when, if you're really like hardcore connected to why you're here, not just, oh, it's just for my kids. Because if you quit tomorrow, girl, your kids are still going to be there hungry. They're still going to be there begging to go to Disney. They're still going to be there wanting a better home or a better school. They're still going to be there. So that's not enough. You got to get real raw. And do it when no one's bothering you. You got to get real raw with that. And then just don't be afraid to do the work. And don't overcomplicate it. I don't know if this is helping you.
Yes, everyone's like, this is so good in the chats. And don't worry about being too red. We got some of the reddest of reds around here too. And they love the butt whoopings. I know it. But I'm not one of them either. I'm not one of the reds, but I got to hear it sometimes myself. So, okay. Another $1 million question, I think, is you talk about like you're the queen of grit, and this time that you've spent just like growing yourself, like in probably so many different aspects of your life, but over these last couple of years. So, I mean, we preach self-development on this team, like every single day, get your self-development in, don't go a day without it. That's the only thing you do, get it in. So we know that, but like, what else have you done over this span of time that has really like helped you grow?
Oh, that is a good question. Okay, first, for like the spirit of true transparency, I think what happens when you get into like higher level leadership, or even getting to diamond and beyond, or even rubies, you guys, I got news for you. If you got one person on your team, you're a leader. You got one person, great. They trusted you to start leading them. You don't need 100. You don't need 10,000. You just need one. And then you just get better and better and better at it, right? So if you're looking like pulling the microscope back and saying like, what the heck has Ashley done for the last 5 years, right? I think part of it was I had to let go of a ton of my own like limiting beliefs, because when you have a ton of success early on in your business, everyone thinks like, oh, well, that's just good for her. It's almost as crippling as having no success early on in your business. Okay. Because the people who have no success, they think like, oh, I just signed up and in 4 months, I'm going to be like a millionaire. It's like, well, I don't want to get rich quick scheme. Nope. Sorry. Bye, Felicia. I don't want to get rich quick scheme. But then when you don't get rich quick, you bounce. It's like, oh, well, that's confusing, right? That's a little contradictory. So it's just kind of being real and saying, okay, what are some of the things that I look at and that would define me culturally on my tribe? Because I call my team the tribe. And then, okay, the diamond tribe, what do I want that to look like? I had to get deep into, number one, letting a lot of people go, because you can't want this more for somebody than they want it for themselves. That was the big thing. Second thing was I had to really write down almost like a cultural whatever of what I wanted my team to be, but it started with what I wanted to be leadership wise. So what were the things that were most important to me? And then how were those things going to translate to my tribe? And then that become the foundation of where we were going to go for next level. Because over the last 5 years, it's been so much preachy. These are the things we do. This is how we do. But how often do you guys find yourself telling your teams, hey, print out that HAP tracker, get 10 up a day. Here's why we do it. Here's why we do that. And then you didn't even do it. You're so stuck in manager mode, telling everybody how to do and why to do and what to do and when to do and how to do and blah, 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 but you're not even doing the things that you're supposed to do. So that's great. You can teach all you want, but that ain't helping you. So I had to get real raw and be like, okay, first of all, when you have a lot of growth and it's hundreds of people, you get into manager mode. It's really hard to pull yourself out. So I want you guys to challenge yourself and say, okay, if I had to show my team what I was doing every single day, would I be proud of it? And if you're like, oh, girl, then wake up. That's why you're on this Zoom tonight, right? You have to be able to be your best runner, right? Lead by example. You can't preach time management and scheduling and daily six and KPI and what are you listening to? Who are you listening to? What are you reading? Da, da, da. And then if that person went to you and said, well, Shelby, that's a great question, but how about you tell me what you're listening to? You know, or how about you tell me who you're reading? Or let me see your schedule. What's your schedule look like? And if you can't produce that for the very people that you're teaching, that was a huge lesson for me. So where I grew a ton was, number one, stop being a hypocrite, right? You have to practice what you preach. You guys know this business. If you're not brand new, you know this business. You know how to work it. You know what's expected. You know the grit, the hustle, the heart, the fun, all of it, right? But if you had to judge yourself over the last like 2 weeks, how you ended October, did you show up for yourself how you expected your team to show up? Bare minimum, same level as them? And then if the answer was no, and you're disappointed about what happened in the last couple days or last 2 weeks of October, sis, you got to slap yourself out of that real quick and just start back with you. And I think for me, I've just gotten really good with like stopping in the moment and pulling the microscope back and going like, alert, you know, you're not doing the things that you need to be doing. You have to slow down first and get really real and raw with time management. And for me, the time management piece being home, because guys, you guys think like, oh, everybody who stays home has all this time. Everybody has time, so much time, you know. And then the working moms, you guys are, or dads, y'all are out there hustling and you're like, dude, I don't have time. I'm working 60 hours a week. How my experience in 6 years is those of you who work kick booty at managing time 100,000 times better than we do when we're home. And I'm just going to be candid about that. So I think too, it would be going back to what does your time management look like and what does your schedule look like? I've been really big on this. Also talking about personal development, you guys, just piggybacking off of that a little bit. You have to find people that you connect with outside of this business. You need leaders that you look up to, and podcast. Cami has a great one. Jade has an awesome one. I don't remember who else at this moment has one. Pam, of course, has one. Find people that you connect with in this business because you need like industry, like people in your soul, but then you have to find other people. So is that Ed Milet? Is that Rachel Hollis? Is that Trent Shelton? Like, I don't know, who is that? And get different areas where they pour into, you know, Tony Robbins. We had a really awesome Zoom with KK, whatever her name is, Carissa something or another. And she was like super fire. So just find people that you connect with and then think about, are you committed to this vision that you have for your business, or are you just interested in it? Because see, if you're committed to it, nothing's going to stop you. If you're interested in it and you're just dibble-dabbling around, that's where you're going to get knocked off course. You can't have one toe, you know, in and the other 9 out. Like you're either in or you're out. And it goes back to your reason. So honestly, that's, I don't have a cookie cutter answer for that other than I have gotten really good with self-reflection. I've gotten incredibly good with time management, and I still am nowhere near where I want to be with it, but also being able to have the most raw, like rigid accountability for myself and my actions and checking myself because no one else is going to do it for me.
So good. So, sorry.
I don't have a perfect recipe.
No, that was so good. It takes me a second to unmute myself. So if there's like an awkward silence, just bear with me over here. I need a new laptop. But so you're red, which means you're motivated by money. So I guess one question that I have for you is like going from working at Target, making Target corporate, I'm assuming, making a 6-figure income, then going to 0, and then jumping into this, was it like the money that motivated you at first, or was it really just that time freedom of wanting to stay home with your son?
while we were drowning in debt. I mean, I think from the outside, again, you know, this is where you also can't ever judge someone and allow your inner workings of your brain to talk you out of talking to someone, because I was already building this house before I found the business. I already had all the cars and the things and the whatever before this business. Okay. But we were in a shitload of debt, right? And we were drowning, but nobody knew that, right? Because nobody talks about that. So from the outside, nobody would have known, right? So number one thing there is never judge anyone. Don't be afraid to message. I would always call it chicken list messaging. I would just message on my chicken list. Everybody at this point was a chicken list message because I was terrified to talk to anybody about it, but I just did it anyways. But for me, like the motivation was just, I think you have to want this business as bad as you need oxygen to breathe. Does that make sense? If you truly want this business to change the complete dynamic and legacy and just the whole trajectory of your life and your children's life, and do epic stuff like I was able to do, and that the stuff with my distributor, Amanda, who passed away and has 6 babies, I'm still to this day, her year anniversary of death was yesterday. I'm still paying for things for those kids. And I don't have to do that, but I want to do that because I can. Just like I can help my mom, just like I could pay her bills and take care of her medical treatments, just like I sent her on a 60th birthday cruise for no reason. Just like all the crazy stuff that I've been able to do, you guys. Yeah, that's money. Money doesn't buy happiness, it buys choices. But if you want this business to truly freaking change your life, it has to be like the same level as oxygen. Like, I know it sounds crazy and y'all are like, oh my God, what is she talking about? But that's how bad I needed and wanted this. I didn't have to tell everybody what we were walking through at that time because I wasn't ready yet, but it has become my story now. So I went from having, you know, double income, no kids. They call it a DINK for those of you who are like economic people. We had double income, no kids. We had a lot of toys and did whatever we wanted and went out and blah, blah, blah. Had our son and wham, everything changed, right? Money's gone, debt piles, everything changes. So does your why as your time in business continues. So for me, it was never triple diamond. It was $500 a month. I just needed $500 to pay this stinking student loan. That's it. And then everything else that happened after that was like, what is going on? Like my first 8 months, I'm like, what just happened? But guys, I stayed up late. I woke up early. I was an incredible student. I listened to everything. I got on everything, like how you guys are on this call right now and probably on other calls and doing power hours and challenge groups and whatever. It's like I was hungry and there was nothing that was going to stop me from that $500 a month. I had no idea it was going to happen the way it did. So I would be lying if I told you guys I had these big 6-figure dreams because I didn't. But when I saw other people achieving that, I was like, so wait, that's a real thing? Like this, what? These people are really making this kind of money. Y'all are crazy. And I didn't even think about it. I just kept working. So sometimes if you guys get too fixated on this untangible thing, it trumps you up. I think you have dream big dreams, do big things, have big audacious goals. But if you fixate on this, like, you ever heard the analogy, like you can't eat an elephant in one bite? I had a college professor tell me that one time when I was stressing something, and it always stuck with me. You can't do this whole big dream board vision crazy thing and try to do this epic stuff and have no plan on how to get there. And you also can't fixate on something if it's going to stress you out or make it just feel so hard and unobtainable, which is why I'm big on 90-day challenges. Like, take your business and look at it from 90-day increments, or at this point, we're in our last 60 days of the year. You know, what are you going to do differently? Because it's going to take you 21 days to change your habits. That's just a known statistic. So if it's going to take you 21 days to get your booty out of bed early when you don't feel like it, or stay up an hour later when you don't feel like it, well, heck, you're already getting into December. What are you going to do differently? What are you willing to sacrifice? And I just got really good with sacrificing things for now because I knew in the future it was going to make a difference. And literally, even though it would be so easy for me to say, like, oh, I've been pushing for presidential for 5 years, like, woe is me, oh, wah, wah, wah. But you'll never hear me say that. You'll never hear me say that. It's just I had to grow a ton. I had to let a lot of people go. I had to get, deeper into why I'm here and what my purpose is. I had to stop being so steamroll red and channel like other layers of my personality color type. And I had to just let go to get going. And in the process of that, there's been a ton of growth. So I don't know, I'm hoping that this helps somebody on here who, you know, feels like they've been pushing and pushing. My line to my tribe all the time, and guys, we came really close this year. This has been my best year in business, and a year where we've had the most chaotic, nonsense, crazy madness possible, right? And this has been the best year of my entire business. We came super close multiple months and we still didn't get it. So it would have been really easy for me to just settle and cry about it. But the one thing I'll tell you guys is dust settles, but I don't. So you have to decide, are you going to settle? Are you going to get frustrated? Are you going to make some damn moves? And I'm telling you guys, there is so much growth and potential and possibility here. And you might not see it right now because you feel like you've worked so hard. But again, my line to my tribe is until you've pushed for something for 64 months, I don't want to hear you complain. Your 64 days of pushing, it doesn't matter. Push another 64 and then another 64 and then another and another and another and another, right? And I'm not saying that to play the comparison game, but I'm telling you guys, there's a reason why God laid this business in my path and had me grow so quick, so fast, and then had me slap around a whole lot, slippity slap, slap. I had a lot of reality, you know, checks and whatever along the way to put me in the position to where right now I can confidently walk in to what's next and not have any worry or reservation about anything else. You just have to have that faith.
Woo, you got me fired up. I love it. Your mindset is like so incredible. It's really refreshing to hear. You're like, come at me when you've been in this for 5 years. Like come back and ask me about it. Okay. So you've kind of like answered this question throughout this whole Zoom. I think in a way you've said little tidbits, but I'm just going to like directly ask it to see if you have any other anything else you can sprinkle on top. But we have some OGs on this call that have been around as long as you and I, and then there's some others that have been here for like 2+ years, between 2 and 3 years. So we have a lot of people that have been with us for a while. And it would be for all you newbies, I'm just going to say it, it would be a lie if we told you that there isn't sometimes a point in your business where you may feel stuck. So you, like I said, you've addressed this a little bit here and there, but like, can you think of a time or 2 or 3 where you have just truly felt stuck in your business and how you kind of like overcame that?
Yes, I actually can. I call it my Britney Spears moment of 2017. I just didn't shave my head, thank God. I'm not a anxiety-ridden person, but I have like this huge heart. So if because I'm red, I attract a lot of yellows. And I have my tribe, so many of them have like social anxiety and depression and like all kinds of things. And so I have like this huge heart with dealing with other people with that stuff, but I have never experienced like a panic attack or anything. And it was 2017 after we had our second son. And I was still thinking like, you can just be like a mom and doesn't matter how many kids you have, but like life just continues on and your world doesn't get rocked and your routines never change. And I was just like in beast mode 24/7. And it just like, I felt just like so heavy and there was so much happening in that season of my business. It was an election year also, like post-election, and there was just a lot of uncertainties. And I just had like a freaking breakdown. I remember it very distinctly, like hyperventilating in the paper bag breakdown. And it wasn't because of the business and it wasn't because of my team. And it was just because I had felt so stuck because I fell into well, gosh, I went triple in 8 months. Why is this chick doing this? Why is this guy going presidential in 7 seconds? Like, what am I not doing? And the strongest people, you guys, the highest emotional resiliency people out there, and I consider myself pretty high, not the highest, but pretty high. Not a lot gets to me. You eventually will break. Okay. And the reason why I broke was because I did 0 personal development. Preached it. Oh yeah, sure. Go read a book, go do the things. Yep. Yep. Ain't got no time for that, but you go ahead and do it. Back to that hypocrite statement I made. I just like, no time. My personal development is all these trainings I'm getting on, like Yeah, goodbye. And I never listened to it. Never listened to it. There was a moment in that Britney moment where I started listening to Trent Shelton. Don't even know how I found him. I like him, love him, Trent Shelton. And he talked about an AC and a BC mindset. An AC mindset is accept and change. And a BC mindset is blame and complain. And in the 24-hour span of like nursing baby, feeling disgusting, 4-year-old who hates me now because I had a baby and he doesn't like me anymore, and like just all the freaking things that I was going through, and I had a diamond quit and go to another company, and another diamond went and followed her, and this thing happened and that thing happened, and it was just like found this Trent Shelton podcast, and I said in that moment I was blaming and complaining about everything. Blaming and complaining about my team, blaming and complaining that my upline doesn't show up, blaming and complaining that I've had to run this thing on my own and be on my own team page and do all these things and yada yada and all these choices that I made. Blame and complain and complaining, blah, 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 blah. And it was listening to that very podcast. Guys, there's going to be something that you're going to get hit with in your business that if you continue to block the blessing, you'll never get the miracle. You'll never get the miracle. If you don't do it because you don't feel like it, you don't want to listen to it, you don't want to hear it, you don't want to show up, you're why you're stuck. Okay. And at this point, I forgot even what Shelby wanted me to talk about, but I will tell you guys that in the moment that I had to be the stuckest of stuck, I was still making money, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. Right. So sometimes, guys, even the money doesn't matter when your mental space and your emotional vibe is jacked up, and you have to go through those things and be open to receiving that and change yourself. Do a self-assessment right now. Are you blaming and complaining everything? Blaming and complaining the election, blaming and complaining COVID, blaming and complaining there ain't no toilet paper, blaming and complaining that your distributors aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, but yet you haven't done your KPIs in a month. Blaming and complaining about your mother-in-law, blaming, you know what I mean? My kids are crazy. Okay, great. So are mine. Like if you are that person, you gotta like snappy snap, y'all. I know I woke some of you up with that clap. You have to get over it and turn yourself into an accept and change. So, okay, I accept the SHIT storm that is happening in my life right now. Okay. But I can't control what I can't control. Therefore, I can't change it. So what can Ashley control? Ashley can control setting boundaries. Somebody just said her husband, setting boundaries with their spouse. I can control my time. I can control writing down my schedule and actually sticking to it. Just like I can control putting a cookie in my mouth or drinking keto coffee. That's a control thing. I control that. Okay. I own the 10 pounds I've gained this quarantine. Okay. And it's about to come off. But that's my point. Like, you have to just accept what you can control and then change what you can control. Everything else falls within the realm of doesn't really freaking matter. And that was a huge thing for me that changed every aspect of my life. So again, I don't even know if that answers your question, but I can promise you guys, if you have like a championship mindset in this business, where like, even if it took you a year to get to each rank, and it was 8-9 years down the road and you're an ambassador, would that not be worth it? You know, I don't give two craps that I'm still a triple diamond at 6 months in, because when I'm like black diamond, triple, quadruple, whatever's going to happen in the next couple years, I'm not going to care about this moment. I was meant to be in this season to help inspire someone else to get through the same season. And you just have to remember that. There's purpose in the pain of your journey, whether that's things that you've gone through in your life or things that you're going to go through in your business. It's all purposeful. But if you, again, what I said, if you block the blessings of all the enlightenment and the things and the awakening that's trying to happen around you, you're never going to get the miracle. Guys, my biggest paycheck was March of last year, and that was 5 years in business. What if I would have quit? What if I would have quit when it got hard? You know? What if I would have quit when my team left? What if I would have quit when I didn't hit my goal over and over and over and over and missed bonuses over and over and over and over? What if I would have quit? You know? So you just have to think about bigger picture and just realize the inconvenience of everything that you're walking through right now exposes massive commitment to your business. If you are feeling inconvenienced and in a negative headspace and all that, that's where you're going to find out whether or not you're committed to this. And if you just want $500 a month, well, girlfriend, go get your 500. And some of this might not apply to you, and don't be scared. Okay. But if you want like she's 34 and her house is paid off and this and that and whatever, and you want like crazy things, and I'm not even a top income earner, you guys. You don't have to be number 10 to make big moves. Make big moves for yourself right now, whatever that looks like. And just go get after it and make the changes and get your mind right up here and really be real and raw with yourself. Lock yourself in a closet. I have no idea what you need to do. Hide your kids, hide your husband, go sit in the car. I don't know. And just get your mind right and lean on leaders, you guys. Like I recognize Amber's name. We're totally sidelined people. We're on the same page, I think, somewhere. I don't even know. But you guys have leadership here that is bomb leadership. And you just have to have that talk to yourself, or with Shelby or Amber. I don't know who else is VIP on here, or Diamond and up. And just be like, you know what? I haven't done the things. I'm going to be super honest right now, but I'm not going to count myself out, because here's my favorite part about this business. I want you guys to write this down. You need to be D4W, down for whatever, whenever, okay? Down for whatever. If you got to go live, go live. If you need to go and do TikTok, oh dear Lord, I was so resistant to freaking TikTok and Reels, and I finally just started doing it, and I had 50 applications for PDT in like 7 seconds. You have to keep evolving and do whatever it takes, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't want to do it.
So good. Thank you. Yes. When you were like, I don't know if that answers your question, it definitely did. Like when you're feeling stuck, what do? That, down for whatever. And I love that. So it was accept and control, and then blame and
accept and change, or blame and complain.
Oh, change.
And you can even look that up. Trent, Trent Shelton, he talks about it. I don't know what podcast it is, but I'm sure if you Googled it or whatever, you would find it. It's a really good slap you upside the head. I love him. I love Ed Milet. He's like my man. I love Rachel Hollis, although she's been wonky now with her divorce and whatever. Like there's certain people that I really listen to. Another one is Tom Bilyeu, Bilyeau, I think his name is. He's the CEO of Quest Nutrition. I saw at I went to Rachel Hollis's Rise Business Conference. That's another thing, you guys, investing in yourself. I kept telling myself, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. And I went to Rise Business Conference in November, or I think it was beginning of November last year, and it changed my entire world. And I was already 5.5 years in business at that point. You don't know when your breakthrough is going to come, but I can 1000% guarantee you, if you keep your walls up, you're never going to get it. Never going to get it. Never going to get it. It's not going to happen. So you just have to be like, I call it like peeling back the onion layers. You know how annoying it is to like deal with an onion or deal with a garlic clove. And I don't even cook, which is a funny analogy for me, but you know what I'm saying? Like you have to peel back the layers, because if you don't, you just stay stuck. And it's worse to stay stuck and spin your wheels and always wonder what if, than it is to just like smash it down and go a different direction and lean on the people here that are loving on you and pouring into you. And just set those boundaries with the people that you love. Get your schedule right and tight. I have really good tips on scheduling. I don't want to really keep you guys probably on here longer because y'all have lives, but things that I do with my scheduling and time blocking, I can always give it to Shelby. But I think you guys have already done this. If you're in that little challenge group thing that I've seen, Millionaire Mindset, I think Amber's in there. Yeah, I'm in there. I'm a fly on the wall. I'm there. But yeah, all kinds of goodness that I could share with you guys. But honestly, you just have to let go and get freaking going. And I know it sounds easier said than done, but I've been through so many seasons in this business, and so much loss and so much love and so much hurt and so much excitement and so much resentment and so like an emotional roller coaster. Another great video, it's an OG Jade Hooper video. She's the reason why I did not quit this business. And if you look up on her YouTube and you literally scroll down to the ends of time, because she's got 8,000 videos, and it's called something emotional roller coaster. I actually just posted it, so I'll send it to Shelby. That was the video that got me not to quit this business. And Jade has nothing to do with me. She's not my upline. So you have to find people that you really look up to, whoever that is, even if it's not your upline or your sideline. And one thing is going to give you the biggest breakthrough ever, and you'll never be the same. And I have lots of those moments. So other than that, I just keep going. And when you guys see me on stage talking about going triple to ambassador or something cray-cray, you'll know it was me. And whether that happens next year or whenever it's going to happen, you just have to have unwavering faith that it's going to happen. Whatever it is for you, you are called here for a reason, and it's going to happen.
I love you. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I'm getting like messages like, this is so good. Who is this girl? Listen, we're going to cheer extra loud for you when you walk across that stage.
Remember me.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I like bawled in the shower to that Jade Hooper emotional roller coaster video.
It's an old one. It's an old one, but it is so good. I just posted it. I don't even know, probably recently, because guys, here's another thing. When you make your promotion, I have like 10,000 messages. What is happening? When you make your promotion not about you and you make it like a team thing. So if you're going diamond or you're wanting to go double or triple or whatever it is, and it's not like me, I, it becomes like a tribe thing, and everyone collectively comes together. And it's just like this beautiful, amazing thing. And we worked so hard together for so many months and we missed it. That could take a toll too, right? So I whipped out that video and I was like, all right, you guys, we ain't got no time to be emotional about this stuff. You just have to be, like I said, just stand super tall and just have that unwavering faith, and try not to live in the moment and like look and say, okay, like for example, right now, if your volume is lower, or if your team is tired, or if people are stuck in the negativity happening in the country because we can't avoid it, right? And all these things are happening. It's really easy to just like react to what is in your circle right now, but don't forget of everything you accomplished, this year. Everything you did, all the growth, all the records, that we've broken, all the things, right? It's so easy to get stuck right in this little crap bubble. But it's like, but what happened to the last like 8 months that we did amazing, So you have to just check yourself. It's all you can do, and just rally together. But yeah, y'all need the Jade Hooper, old school emotional resiliency, whatever she called it, emotional roller coaster thing, and just find someone that you really love and look up to, and just be vulnerable, because I promise you it's not seen as a sign of weakness. If you come to me and you are vulnerable, but you back it with a solution, and you're not just crying about everything, that's extreme ownership and accountability. That's accepting and changing. But if you're just blaming everybody and complaining about everything, I'm going to be like, I'll let you complain for a second, and then like we got to get you back on track. So just do a little self-assessment tonight when you guys get off of here, and just decide what's next.
So good. Okay, listen, we're going to do one last tip about anything and everything, whatever your heart desires.
Oh boy. Honestly, you guys, you probably, what would be my best tip? I have to think.
I put you on the spot. Sorry.
No, I'm just thinking. It has so much to do with like your heart right now and what you're willing to temporarily suffer through for like the bigger thing. Like if I can give you guys any tip, I've kind of given you like, I feel like 1,000 different little tips, but honestly, it literally just boils down like your faith in this company and in this business and in yourself, your faith, okay, in God, whatever you believe in, that transfers to every single thing you do and every single person that you talk to. So if you don't know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're like meant to be here and you're meant to do big things in your life, and you're not going to be a statistic or whatever you're facing and whatever hardships that you've had, If you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's these big plans for you and you just have to find the right key to unlock the door to get to the plan, that's the transfer of belief that happens. And that's when you start seeing magic happen in your business. Okay. That's what it is. But the transfer of belief and having that faith and that unwavering passion and all that stuff that I talked about doesn't happen overnight. You know, it doesn't happen without the deeply rooted reason. It doesn't happen without managing your time. It doesn't happen without going through the crap, right? It doesn't happen without the losses, without those peaks and valleys. So you have to almost align yourself in each one of those categories. And then once you have all those gears lined up where everything's like going, it's that heart, you guys. People sense that from a mile away. When you are bulletproof, that's another thing I tell my tribe all the time. Be bulletproof. Okay? Be bulletproof. Things people say, don't care. Things people think, don't care. I can't pay my bills with people's opinions. Okay? I couldn't, send Cody to private school with your opinion. That means nothing. That's what I mean by being bulletproof and being resilient. Unless those people that are saying the things to you that are making you question yourself and making your belief waver have any warrant or accord or anything to what you want to do with your life and your family, if they have nothing to do with that, then you need to get over it. And that's all hustle, heart, grit, knowing your self-worth, investing in yourself, and just really manifesting the things that you want for yourself. And it's like crazy. For example, I still do these. Do you? Dream boards, vision boards. I do believe that's a Ferrari. Kind of crap, who puts a Ferrari on their thing? I'm like, I'm gonna buy my husband a Ferrari. Okay, right? Do this, do that. Like, you literally just have to have just like crazy audacious things, but also have the discipline to get there. If you will not ever be consistently motivated, but girl, you better damn sure be consistently disciplined, because without the discipline, that's where you get trumped up. And that's with anything. Why do you think we all aren't a size 0 with a 6-pack looking like a snack all the time? Because we don't have the discipline. We're all motivated. We all want to look like a snack, but we want to eat the snacks too. Like, it doesn't work like that. So it's the same thing with your business. Everybody wants to be Ambassador Diamond, but do you have what it takes to get there? Do you have the hustle, the heart, the grit, the mindset, all the things? And I'm telling you guys, you have it. You have it. You just need somebody who has walked through it before you to tell you that it's going to be okay. And sometimes it has to be a complete stranger. Hi, here I am. You can hear it from Shelby and Amber and all your diamonds and other VIPs and whoever, but sometimes it just takes one thing that one person says that has literally nothing to do with you on this team. We're still family, right? It works, but to tell you it's going to be okay. But it's only going to be okay if you decide that you're worth it and you're going to do it. And that's it. That's all she wrote.
Thank you so much. That was more than I was even expecting with that last tip. Thank you so much. That was incredible. Ashley, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking your Wednesday night to share with us and share your heart and your story. And we're really excited and cheering you on. And thank you for cheering this team on too. And you guys, if you have any questions about the scheduling or the Jade video or anything, let me know. I'm sure that I can get the scheduling from Ashley, and somebody actually babies. Somebody posted the Jade video in here, but it'll get lost. So I'll post it in the team page as well. You guys, I love you so much. Thank you again, Ashley. You guys have a great night. And
bye guys. Thank you.
See ya. Bye guys.